Okay, let's go ahead and get started on the summer sausage. Last night, or 24 hours ago, I did go ahead and prep 4.5 pounds of beef jerky. It's actually bottom sirloin, or other known as ball tip. But if you want to see how to prep that, just go ahead and watch my other video making beef jerky. But this is a summer sausage that I'll be making today. It's a kit for 25 pounds, but you can go ahead and split it up and do it by the pound if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and do all 25 pounds. I'm going to follow their recipe as far as mixing the sausage. I'm going to be using 10 pounds of Berkshire ground pork and 15 pounds of USDA choice ground chuck. And I'll mix it according to the instructions there. But I'll be using a 20-pound mixer, so I'm going to do two 12.5-pound batches. I did go ahead and split the seasoning and cure into two. So I'll just mix a half a batch at a time, and once that first half batch is mixed, I'll put it in this lugger here and put it in the fridge to keep it cold until I get the second batch mixed. And then I'll mix the two half batches together to make sure everything's nice and even. But I got a scale, the hog ring pliers and hog rings, distilled water, measuring cup. There's the crank for the mixer, lid for the mixer. And down here I've had the casings now soaking for about the last hour in hot water, making sure I stir them, make sure there's no air in there. I made sure I got water into each casing. And then I do have these other two bus tubs here that I'll be using for the water bath, ice water bath, when the summer sausage is done to cool it off. And I'll be using the Camp Chef Smoke Pro XXL. It's a great smoker for doing summer sausage, beef jerky, and all that. You have all kinds of room inside. You go ahead and see the hooks across the top. I got jerky racks, regular racks. I'll probably have 2 racks of jerky and then the summer sausage hanging down. I do have a pan of water on there right above the fire pot to add moisture to the cooking chamber. And I want to cook these as low and slow as possible. So I do have it set on smoke, which will run anywhere from, I don't know, 140 to 170, 160. Depends on the sun and the day, I guess. And then I also have here underneath this, and underneath some towels and a bunch of ice, is all my mixing stuff. My mixing bowl, my paddle. I do have the stuffer horn down in there. Here's the mixer, so it's all getting fairly cold out here. I'm going to try to keep it as cool as possible. If I'm not able to, I'll move into the house. But I just want to show you a few of them, you know, not bore you with stuffing all of them. Alright, I'm ready to start stuffing. I have my meat mixture split into half in the house in the refrigerator. And you can see how I have the mixer set up here with a bag of ice underneath it. One kind of behind it and one in it. So we'll go ahead and get the meat out here, give it a couple cranks with the mixer, dump in the cure, dump in the seasoning, mix the meat until it gets to be a nice tacky consistency. That'll help with the ending result, the texture and stuff in your summer sausage. You don't want it to be crumbly and falling apart. So you do have to mix it for a while. You can mix it by hand too. Here's the 5 pounds of Berkshire ground pork, and then the 7.5 pounds of ground chuck. Okay, let's go ahead and dump in our 1 cup water and half of our cure. Well, it's all the cure for this amount of meat, I guess I should say. Oh, it's quite the workout. Alright, here the mixture is after about 6 minutes of mixing. I did end up adding another 1/4 cup of water. It did say in the instructions anywhere from 2 to 3 cups for 25 pounds. So, but you do want that sticky texture. You can see how it's pretty evenly mixed, I think. And going both directions every so many seconds. Maybe I could use just a little more water. Okay, there's another 1/4 cup. So now we're up to 1.5 cups. So we'll probably use 1.5 cups in the other half of this mixture. And now you could definitely, that little bit of water makes a difference. I could feel how easier the handle turns. And now it's getting to stir tough again because I got that liquid incorporated in that other quarter cup. There we go. That is definitely the consistency we're looking for. Really sticky. Well, here's all 25 pounds. Both of those halves are mixed together thoroughly. I did it here in the kitchen. I had the bowl here over bags of ice in the kitchen sink, making sure it stayed nice and cold. Well, I got my stuffer all set up, 5 pounds in there, and of course, as you load a stuffer with meat, you want to make sure you keep the air down to a minimum. You don't want to have any air pockets. As you can see, I do have the sausage right to the end of the stuffer, and I did that by slowly cranking the handle. I didn't want to move it too fast, causing too much pressure, causing it to leak out. So go ahead and pull the casing onto the... I'm going to make sure we get it up there right up to the end. Put a little pressure on there. Let's go ahead and start cranking the stuffer. I want to probably keep these around 15, 16 inches long so I could fit them on the stuffer along with, or the smoker, along with the 4 pounds of jerky. So I'm kind of curious to see how many pounds I get per casing. You can see I'm putting quite a bit of resistance on it because I want to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. I'm just letting the force of the sausage being pushed out push the casing along. I'm going to go a little bit longer. It's going to be about it right there. Now I'm just going to wait a little bit because remember there's still pressure on here. Back off my stuffer just a half a crank or something. I'm still holding it. You can see it's nice and firm. Slide it off. Nice twist. And I'm using the hog ring pliers. There we go. I'll get that under refrigeration. I think next one I'll make sure I get a little tighter. So this first tube of sausage will kind of give me an idea on how long to make the sausage. Go ahead and preload my hog ring. Have that ready. This one will be quite a bit shorter because I'm already almost through the sausage that's in the stuffer. But the next stuffer full, I'll make sure I get them both the same length. See this one, I'm applying a little bit more pressure. You can see some of the sausage is actually squeezing out some of the perforated holes in the casing. There we go. I think I'm at the bottom of my stuffer. Applying nice pressure. Back off the stuffer handle. Let's go ahead and pull it off. Just I want to make sure I get this one quite a bit tighter. Well, they're pretty almost close to the same length. Maybe the other one's an inch or two longer. Let's go ahead and a little tighter. Make sure I don't break the sausage, but it's pretty tight. The hog ring it. There we go. Back on refrigeration. I'm going to go ahead and fill the stuffer full and continue the process till all 25 pounds are stuffed. What I want to do is cook these as low and slow as possible at first. So I'm going to have the Camp Chef set on low smoke, which runs anywhere from, of course I just had it open, but runs anywhere from like 140 to 160, depending on your ambient temp. Let's go ahead and take a look. There you see the 4.5 pounds of bottom sirloin beef jerky here on the top rack, the top 2 racks. Then I got 13 sticks of summer sausage. The double XL comes with 12 hooks, so I had to tie the 13th one on just onto the rack itself. Try to space them out as evenly as possible so they can get a lot of smoke. And of course you can see the pan of water down there below to add moisture to the cooking chamber. I'm guessing the beef jerky is going to take probably 4 hours and the summer sausage maybe close to 6. But we'll go as low and as slow as possible. 2 hours and 20 minutes. I have not opened up the Camp Chef since I put it on, and it's still running on low smoke. Let's go ahead and take a look. I do not have a probe yet. It's just hanging right there. But I will put it in here probably shortly, maybe another hour. 2 hours and 45 minutes in. Still running it on low smoke. I did go ahead and put the probes in. This is the big summer sausage at 128, and this is the smaller chub at 141. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. I want to probably rotate the beef jerky or something too. Looking good. That tray's looking real nice. Cooking nice and even too. Top tray, definitely a lot cooler. I'm going to go ahead and rotate. I thought the top one would have been the hottest. I can definitely see that it's not the case. Well, the chimney is right at this height. About 3 3/4 hours. Camp Chef's still running at 163. And the small chubs is at 139. I guess it's the other way around. The small one's at 148. The big one's at 139. Let's go ahead and take a look at the jerky especially. I'm thinking we're done. I'm going to get my glove on as we speak. Oh no, it's got some time yet. Remember, this shelf was on the bottom, or on the second level, and I moved it to the top. I'm thinking this shelf is done. It's nice and dry. You can see how it's kind of brittle, or it wants to break. It's a little thicker piece here. Maybe we'll let it go a little longer. Big chub's at 139, and the small one is at 150. We're going to go to an internal temp of 157. I know I mentioned before 160. 4 hours and 13 minutes on the jerky and summer sausage. I'm going to go ahead and pull that top shelf of jerky. This was the second shelf. Let's go ahead and set it on top. Take a peek at that. That might be done. That might be done shortly too. Here we go, almost 4 hours and 19 minutes. I did go ahead and pull that other shelf of jerky right after the first one. I'm going to leave the bag opened. I'm going to go ahead and put it in that cooler full of ice that I have, starting to cool it off. 5 hours and 1 minute on the summer sausage. You can see the Camp Chef still running right along on low smoke. The big chub's at 146, the small's at 154. So getting a little close to putting the small ones in the water bath, ice water. But since I pulled the beef jerky, it's been hanging out over here in the cooler like this, opened with the bags of ice on each side. I'm going to go ahead and close the bag and put it in the fridge. 5 hours and 22 minutes. I did notice as I was watching the temperature Camp Chef's at 176. The Big Chub's at 146, which is no surprise. But the small one dropped 2 degrees, dropped down to 152. It was 154. I think we kind of stalled out. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to high smoke. 5 hours, 33 minutes. Camp Chef now is currently at 217 degrees. That's the Big Chub, 148. The small one's at 155. I do have my ice water ready here. I'll dump more ice in it as needed. Here we are, the small ones just came up to 157. I'll go ahead and pull them off. Then I'm also turning it back down to low smoke again to finish off the big ones. Alright, here all 3 are. In the ice water bath, we want to make sure we stop the cooking process. 5 hours and 44 minutes. Camp Chef has come back down to 168. The Big Chub has come up though in temp to 154. Here we are, almost 6 hours. 5 hours and 55 minutes. Camp Chef has come back down to 156. And the sausage is at 157. The ones in the water bath that cool down to 107. Let's go ahead and shut this off. On the shutdown. And go ahead and cut these guys loose. I'm going to go ahead and get them in the water, ice water bath. They look nice. Oh, nice and firm. They didn't shrink at all. A little bit of ash on top of the ones. Here we are, 6 hours and 20 minutes. This is the final shot before the sausage goes in the fridge. But I did dump off some of the water and piled more ice on top. I want to make sure I keep it plenty cold right now. We'll let it sit like this for another 45 minutes. And we'll put it in the fridge, let it rest for the rest of the night. Here we are the next day. The summer sausage and beef jerky has had a chance to cool all night. As you can see, I cut the summer sausage. It held together real nice. We got the right amount of mix on it. You can see none of the casings broke or shrank or split. They both taste pretty much the same. The small one and the big one, I don't taste no difference. And then the beef jerky. Beef jerky turned out great. Pepper flavor, tender, the right amount of smoke on it. Very good. The beef jerky is hard to screw up the way I do it. But the summer sausage was a new one for me on this smoker. If you want to learn more about Camp Chef products, just click on the link in the description. And it doesn't hurt to subscribe. Thanks for watching.